title is Jesus and the Sin. And we want to look at what is the sin from Jesus' perspective. It is extremely important that we grasp why Jesus is so important to understand what is the sin. We're going to look at John chapter 16, and we go through from verse 5 to 15. And hopefully as we keep moving, we will start here with Jesus. Hopefully we'll see some passages in the Old Testament, and then go and see how sin originated in the universe. So verse 5 of John chapter 16. But now I go away to him who sent me, and none of you asks me, where are you going? When Jesus is making this statement, he's saying, but now I go away to him who sent me. He came to this earth for one purpose and one purpose only: to reveal to the universe what God is like. He came to reveal God's character. He came to reveal God's agape love. And he's talking in terms of when this work is finished. When he has finished this work, he is going back to him who sent him. So God the Father is the one who sent Jesus. And none of you asked me, where are you going? What Jesus means there is that none of them are asking him where you are going, because they haven't really grasped why he's here. That is the problem. If they had understood why he was really here, they would have known why he's going back. And all of this, they will come to know as we see that as this passage continues. But because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your heart. Again, not knowing why Jesus was here and why he's going back, sorrow has filled their heart. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the Helper will not come to you. But if I depart, I will send him to you. So the person who is going to send the Helper, or the person who is going to send the Holy Spirit, is Jesus Christ. I will send him to you. And when he, the Holy Spirit, when he, the Helper, has come, he will convict the world of sin. You could also state, he will convict and convince the world of sin, and of righteousness and of judgment. We cannot separate sin. If we understood what sin is, we will also understand what righteousness is, and we'll also understand what the judgment is. So he's saying, and when he has come, he will convict the world of sin, and of righteousness, and of judgment. Of sin. Now Jesus is telling us very clearly what the Holy Spirit is going to do, how the Holy Spirit is going to convict and convince us of sin. So he says, of sin, because they do not believe in me. We must grasp the depth of that statement of Jesus. And when he, the Holy Spirit, has come, he will convict the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. And he says very clearly, of sin, because they do not believe in me. So the sin, according to Jesus, the sin is when the Holy Spirit is going to convict us of who? Of who Jesus is, of Jesus' mission, of the work that Jesus came to do. When we are convicted, then what happens? convict the world of sin and of sin because they do not believe in me. Then when we will believe in Jesus, and the belief that we will have in Jesus will be based purely on the revelation that He gives of God. The revelation that He gives of God's character, the revelation that He gives of God's agape love. So if we reject that, when we are convinced and convicted, when we reject that, that is the sin according to Jesus. Verse 10, of righteousness, because I go to my Father and you see me no more. So what that righteousness means, that He came to this earth and He fulfilled all righteousness. So of righteousness, because I go to my Father. He has accomplished and completed revealing the work of righteousness, and you will see me no more because I have gone back to the Father. Of judgment, sin, righteousness, and judgment. Now sometimes our mind will go into another tangent when we think in terms of judgment. Keeping in mind what Jesus is stating, of judgment, because the ruler of this world is judged. How is the ruler of this world, or the prince of this world, who is who? Satan. Lucifer, Satan, the devil. Of judgment, because the ruler of this world is judged. How is the ruler of this world judged? The ruler of this world is judged for us. With that revelation Jesus gives of God, we have come to believe that revelation. The ruler of this world is judged. Until you and I come to accept Jesus' revelation of God, Jesus' revelation of God's agape love, until and unless we come to do that, the ruler of this world is not judged. He is judged. His judgment happens when we know what sin is, we know what righteousness is, then judgment has fallen on the ruler of this world. So it is locked in and tied up with God's character. When we come to understand the kind of character God has, we know what sin is because that's what Jesus is revealing. When we know God's love, then that is what Jesus is revealing. When we understand that, then we know what sin is. Verse 12, I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. However, when He, the Spirit of truth, has come, He will guide you into all truth. For He will not speak on His own authority, but whatever He hears, He will speak. And He will tell you things to come. Particular attention should be paid to this verse. However, when He, the Spirit of truth, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. The Spirit of truth is going to take everything of Jesus, the truth, because Jesus is the what? Embodiment of truth. Jesus is also what? The embodiment of God's love. Jesus is the essence of God's love. And here on earth, Jesus gives us that revelation, the very essence of God. Jesus gives us that revelation. But the work of the Holy Spirit is to take everything of Jesus and get our hearts and minds and life focused on no one else but the person of Jesus Christ. That is the primary work of the Holy Spirit. The tragedy is that we in the Christian world has made Jesus Christ subservient or taken on an inferior role to the work of the Holy Spirit. The work of the Holy Spirit is nothing else but to give us a revelation of everything that Jesus taught. However, when He, the Spirit of truth, has come, He will guide you into all truth. What does that mean? Which means to say that everything Jesus taught, was all truth, but it has not been grasped. And the Holy Spirit is going to take all truth, because Jesus is the embodiment of truth. He will take all truth and He is going to reveal what this all truth is. For He will not speak on His own authority. Very important. He will not speak on His own authority. But whatever He hears, He will speak. And what does He hear? And He will tell you things to come. What does He hear? He will glorify me. That's what He will do. He will glorify me, for He will take of what is mine and declare it to you. So verse 14, and He will glorify me, which means to say He will take everything of Jesus, the total revelation that Jesus has given of God. He will take all of that Jesus has given, which has not been understood. The disciples have not understood it. We might not have understood it. The Holy Spirit is going to take all of this and He will glorify Jesus. He will take of what is Jesus and declare it to all of us. Verse 15. All things that the Father has are mine. Therefore I said that He will take of mine and declare it to you. So what Jesus is stating here again, all things that the Father has are mine. Everything about the Father. The Father's character, the Father's method of governance, the Father's rule of law, and the very essence of the Father. And what is the very essence of the Father? The very essence of the Father is agape love. So Jesus is going to reveal the very essence of the Father. He, through the Holy Spirit, will declare to us that God is agape love. Nothing else. Now, we are going to look at the issue of the sin. I'm going to go to John chapter 9. And I'm going to start from verse 39 up to verse 41. And Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world. And we have just looked at how the judgment is involved. For judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who say and those who see may be made blind. Okay? Verse 39 again. And Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be made blind. What is he talking about here? He's saying, look, for judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see. Who are the ones that do not see? The ones that are open to who? To the leading of the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's revelation of Jesus. They are the ones that do not see. Then what happens? That those who do not see, and that those who do not see may see. So they will see. And what will they see? They will see exactly all what Jesus is trying to reveal through the work of the Holy Spirit. Everything that Jesus wants us to know, this is what the Holy Spirit is going to reveal, and we will see. Now, and those who see may be made blind. What does that mean? And those who see will be made blind. See what? See the wrong God. Those who will see the wrong God, those who will not accept Jesus' revelation of God, they will claim we see, and we're going to look at that. They are the ones that is blind. So Jesus is the person that is going to be responsible for those who will see and those who will not see. Then some of the Pharisees who were with him heard this word and said to him, "Are we blind also?" And Jesus is addressing them. Jesus said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no sin." If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say we see, therefore your sin remains. What has happened here? If you were blind, you would have no sin. If you had not understood what I have told you, if you were blind and were not convicted and convinced, if you were not, you would have no sin. But you now say, we see. You now making claim, hey, we see. Whatever you are telling us, we're not accepting that. We see something different to what you are telling us. We believe that the Messiah is going to be somebody different to the Messiah you are presenting yourself to be. So they are claiming, we see, we've got the knowledge, we've got the understanding, we see. But we are not accepting what you are teaching. We are not going to accept the revelation that you are giving of God. The God that we have come to know, the Messiah that we are expecting, is not the kind of Messiah that you have presented yourself to be. The Messiah that you have presented yourself to be is a non-violent Messiah. You are giving a picture of God that does not fit with us. The Messiah, when He comes, He is going to use violence and force and establish a kingdom for us. We are going to become the head and the rest of the world is going to become the tail. That was their mindset. So, Jesus therefore said, your sin remains. That is the sin, the ultimate sin. I want us to go now to John chapter 15. And in the Sabbath class, some of this was touched. In verse 3 of John chapter 15, Jesus said, you are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. You are already clean. Clean or cleansed of what? You are already clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Your mind has been cleansed of all the lies that you have believed about God because I have spoken to you. The Holy Spirit is revealing more and more of whatever Jesus has spoken. You are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Then we now go to verse 21 of chapter 15. But all these things they will do to you for my name's sake, because they do not know him who sent me. What will they do? They will do exactly what their mind believes. They believe in a violent God. They will use violence against who? Every person that does not conform to what they want. And they ended up doing Jesus in exactly the same way. Why? Because the God and the Messiah that they were expecting did not fit their understanding of the Scriptures. And what was the Scriptures that they had? It was the Old Testament. So the Jesus, the true Messiah, did not fit with their paradigm, with their mindset. And that's why they ended up murdering Jesus. Verse 22. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would have no sin. So again, Jesus is addressing these